and so in March 1965 the line to Scarborough and the line from Grosmont to Pickering closed. Joining our diesel multiple unit, or DMU for short, we leave Whitby town station and pass the daily goods train from Middlesbrough shunting its trucks. At Bockhall Junction we take the single line up to Prospect Junction. Climbing the 1 in 50 gradient and curving round under the S viaduct, we pass under the unusual overhead signal box, where the driver exchanges his token with the signalman. These tokens are the driver's authority to proceed and ensure only one train is allowed into a single line section. In this view we can see that shortage of space was one reason for the siting of the signal box. Also the need to see the tracks of the Scarborough line, which are on the other side of the railings. The line originally continued under the distant Gisborough Road Bridge to Whitby Westcliff Station and on up the coast to Saltburn and Middlesbrough. The signal box, a typical North Eastern Railway one, must have been quite a cold place in winter, except if a steam engine was stopped under it. Loco halt trains to and from Scarborough ran round on the left-hand tracks, as they either hauled the train up from Whitby or held it back on its way down. Continuing our journey, we cross the Esk Viaduct with Whitby Town Gasworks below. The viaduct is not straight, but has a sharp curve at the north end. Climbing away from the Esk Valley on gradients as steep as 1 in 38, Prospect Hill can be seen in the distance. At Horscrough Station, 5 miles from Whitby, the only brick-built one on the line, an old North Eastern Railway road van body does duty as a goods warehouse. All the stations were on gradients of varying steepness. Departing, we continue to climb at 1 in 46 to the summit near Ness Point. Rounding the top of Ness Point, some 450 feet above sea level, we begin the descent to Robin Hood's Bay Station, 7¼ miles from Whitby, itself still nearly 300 feet above the sea. Passing the fixed distance signal with Robin Hood's Bay below, we slow for the facing points of the passing loop. The goods warehouse with the white end door is now part of the village hall. The 1904 signal box was unusual in that the post office and refreshment room were attached to it. The station's parachute-style water towers were the only ones on the line. A specially built siding held 4 camping coaches and was only connected to the running tracks when movement in or out was required. During winter 1964, whilst delivering a load of gravel to a farmer's building site, my lorry slid off this farm crossing on the frosty timbers. There was a mad dash to the station to warn them, whilst the farmer got his tractor to pull it clear. With a view looking north of Robin Hood's Bay, we run inland to Filing Hall Station, 10 miles from Whitby. The line rises and falls until after the station, which is now only a halt, and has had its wooden station building demolished, leaving only the boarded-up brick signal box. Just south of Filing Hall is Stoop Beck Embankment, the largest on the line at 90 feet high. Climbing now begins in earnest, with some 3 miles at 1 in 39 to Ravenscar. With the line swinging eastwards, we come back towards the coast, with another glorious view of Robin Hood's Bay, snuggling below Ness Point. On the left are run-off tracks for the gangers' motorised trolleys to be placed whilst maintenance is taking place in the area. At the turn of the century, Whittaker's Brickworks was established in the old Allen quarries, also on the left-hand side. Passing Ravenscar fixed distant, we enter the 279-yard-long tunnel built at the insistence of a local landowner. The first tunnel was built on the wrong heading and had to be rebuilt onto its present course. The station layout was increased in 1908 with the addition of a passing loop and wooden platform for Whitby trains. As the climb on the south side was nearly as steep at 1 in 41, the station really was perched on a peak, and at 631 feet above sea level, the highest point on the line. Being so exposed, it was also extremely windy, the wooden waiting room once being blown away at the turn of the century. There were plans to build a spa-type town here, but they were never proceeded with, though some streets and drains were laid out. Passing the red fog sighting board, we run into Staintondale Station, 15.5 miles from Whitby. The small 15-lever lean-to signal box in front of the camping coaches was unique on the line, and probably the original 1885 one. As the station was on in a 172 gradient, trap points were installed at the Scarborough end of both lines of the passing loop. The original slotted post northeast and lower quadrant starter signal has been converted into an upper quadrant one. Abe and Wyke Station at 16.5 miles from Whitby was always just a halt. In the early 1950s, the buildings were turned into a camping cottage and electricity installed. Approaching Cloughton Station, we run over the only public level crossing on the line, right at the platform's end. 18.5 miles from Whitby, it had a healthy pit-prop traffic from the Duchy of Lancaster's sawmills. Crossing a serviced DMU bound for Whitby, the station master is exchanging the single-line tokens. Running past more camping coaches, we are on level track for only the third time since leaving Whitby. Colby station, 21 miles from Whitby, closed in 1953, but certain trains did still stop until 1964 for the benefit of the camping coach occupants. Coty Hill Bridge, carrying the Scarborough-Whitby Road, was rebuilt in 1961. At the north end of Gallows Close carriage sidings is Northstead Turntable, which was used to turn engines off the many summer excursions that came to Scarborough. These sidings were opened in 1908 in conjunction with Lonsborough Road excursion platforms. Trains could unload and then run forward through Falsgrave Tunnel up to Northstead to be parked, the engines being turned, cold and watered at facilities there, ready for the return journey. Another ganger's trolley is now the only occupant of the sidings. Gallows Close goods yard signal box also control the line to Whitby and access to the carriage sidings. With the single line token given up, we pulled through the 260-yard long Falsgrave Tunnel and into Lonsborough Road platform, before reversing into Scarborough Central Station, 23.5 miles from Whitby. Whitby line trains used to use a short bay just in front of the signal box, platform 1A, to save crossing the busy main running lines. At this date, platform 1 still had full-length awnings.